Hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon to everybody. This is Antoinette Marie. I hope that you are doing so fantastic on today. Today is an exceptional day, and the word that I like to use, you guys know it's fantastic because today is a fantastic day. So I'm on here just really quick this afternoon or probably morning for some people, just to do just a quick prelude to tomorrow. Hey, Sarari. Tomorrow, with our Bridging the Nations, we are going to be talking about um, help. I've fallen and I have been hijacked by my emotions. So, we're going to be talking about that on tomorrow. But I wanted to just come in just really quick and just kind of do a little bit of a prelude to that. I know a lot of times in life we have a lot of situations where we typically don't understand. We say that we say like, "Oh, I feel like this," or um, "Why is this happening to me?" And a lot of times we feel sorry for ourselves. But I want to say this to you as we speak about this on tomorrow. I want to say this to you. You are responsible for your own feelings, right? You are responsible for your own actions that you decide that you're going to do after you feel a certain way. So if you are upset with someone or you are saddened by maybe a job loss or something else was taken away from you, the way that you react to what has happened to you, that's your responsibility. So no longer can we continue to blame other people for things that are happening in our lives in the aspect of how we react to those things, right? And so we have to remember that when we go through or we see things that we feel are not supposed to happen, we're responsible for our own feelings. We can't blame someone else for the way that we are feeling. Okay. And so tomorrow we're going to really hit this thing about being hijacked and what does it mean. And we're going to give you some strategies on how to first not get hijacked by your feelings and by your emotions. But when you find yourself in a space, and you hear a lot of times people say, "Oh, I just feel like I'm in a stupor." You can't continue to let your brain cycle through the what ifs, the why, the I don't understand, or I feel like this. Well, I feel, well, I feel, but I feel. Because one of the things that we know about feelings is our feelings will change every moment. So today you wake up and you're feeling excited because you have this something new that you're going to be doing. And then you get a telephone call that they have to push perhaps the lunch back for 2 days or 2 weeks. Then you're like, well, I feel like, listen, I'm not saying that your feelings are not important. So let's take that piece of that and let's place that in what I call on in the parking lot, right? So let's place that. I'm not saying that. What I am saying, beloved, is that don't allow for situations to hijack your brain and take you from high to low and then high to low. When you allow for that to happen, and I'm using very intentional words here today, when you allow for that to happen, you are allowing someone or something else to cycle your life, your mind for you. So let me give you an example. If you've ever had a situation where um, you're excited about going someplace, right? Let's say that. Let's say you've had a time where you're very excited about doing something, and all of a sudden something happens, a phone call or someone comes in, and then all of a sudden it just kind of, you'll hear people say, oh, like, who took the air out of your balloon? Don't allow and don't give any situation or individual the power to make you go up and down like a roller coaster. You're right, Carrie. Just like a roller coaster. So you have these highs and you have these really deep lows. And you may have these significant highs, then you have these really deep lows, right? In life, you're going to have times where people are not going to agree with who you are. That's not on you. That's on them, right? There are going to be times in life where you may be upset with yourself. So let's take that action of, I'm not really satisfied with something that I did or something that I didn't accomplish. And let's do something about it. Let's do something. I always say we got to get activated when there's things in our lives that are not going in the way that we want them to go. Then we are responsible for doing something about it, not anyone else. Nobody else is responsible for doing that, right? And then when you know that you feel a certain way, listen to that, right? But don't stay there. Don't continue to allow things to play in your head over and over again. Don't allow for situations where, if you know that you have to make a decision about something, right? And we all have been here, right? You know that you have to make a decision about something, and then you just continue to replay it. Well, how do I do it? How do I do it? When am I going to do it? When is it going to happen? How do I do it? Your entire amygdala has been totally hijacked when you start thinking that way. It's been totally hijacked. So tomorrow, with the broadcast of Bridging the Nations, we're really going to dive into that, because there's so many individuals, and I have been there as well, where things are going really, really well, and then all of a sudden something happens and you almost literally crash. But you don't just say, okay, this is what has happened. And then what we should do is go into the process of either, if possible, and if you want to, being able to rectify a situation, or you have to at some point say, I have to accept this is what's happening, and not to continue to play it in your mind over and over again. Because when you play it in your mind over and over again, it does something to your brain, right? Because it's constant. Anything that you do consistently, beloved, you actually become, right? And I know sometimes it gets difficult. Believe me, I know that there's times where it gets difficult, but I want you to just be aware. I want you to be aware of those emotions. And they are your emotions. They're your feelings. But if we can do this, if you can do this for me, beloved, and do it for yourself. When you find yourself getting upset, or somebody came to you and they said to you, I don't like the way you did a certain thing. And you say to them, okay, you don't like the way I did something. And because we're into restorative, we want to restore relationships or restoring any situation. So one of the things you can do is say, tell me where in this process, or if it's at work or whatever, what did I do that you did not necessarily like? And they may say to you, I didn't like the way that you spoke in the boardroom, or I didn't like the way you spoke to our kids or our children. I didn't really appreciate that. Okay. All right. So then you go into now the knowledge you've been made aware. Now you have to go into the knowledge of, okay, I did something this way. It wasn't necessarily appropriate for that situation. And now stage 3 is, how do you activate? So how do you change that? Not saying to necessarily change your persona and your personality. We're not saying that. But there's always a time and place for absolutely everything. And so as you begin to develop and being aware of that, just in that piece, right? If you just stay right there and say, hey, okay, there's something that I have to change, or something that I have to rectify. Hey, Ryan, there's something that I have to uh, do better in, right? And then you go, and as I would say to do, you go and you journal it. Whether you, and I'm just a scriber, I like writing on paper, but you go and you journal it, and then you do the work to rectify it or to improve yourself, right? What you don't want to do is this: oh, wow, Jessica didn't like the way I did that. Oh, wow, how could I have done it better? Oh, wow, I'm no good. Oh, wow, why did I do that? Oh, man, I can't believe I did that. Oh, my God, why? When you start to do that, you have been mentally and in your brain, you have been hijacked, okay? And so on tomorrow's episode or broadcast of Bridging the Nations, we're going to talk about when you are being hijacked by your feelings, to be able to recognize it, but also to be able to strategize to get out of that. So it's like getting out of your head. Sometimes we can just be in our head so much that we don't even know we're in our head. You know, have you ever had situations like you're just in your head, you're talking, you have an entire conversation in your head, like it's somebody totally different. We don't want to do that in that magnitude, right? If there's something that you're dealing with, put it on a piece of paper. I always say that people that are really ready to make life changes, you write things down. It's really, really important for you to write those things down. So when there's so much information that's in your head, you're correct, Ryan. It's like, listen, it's literally like, okay, all of this stuff is in my head. What do I do with it? What do I do with it? And so then you try to process it. But when it's so much congestion that's in your head, it's very difficult for you to process it. All right. So you need people like Sarari that has the credentials and the expertise of, okay, let me help you process it. If you have a life strategist or if you have a coach, they can help you process certain things. And so tomorrow with Bridging the Nations, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how do we recognize when we're being hijacked by our emotions? How do we recognize when we are just it's constantly happening? And so we're going to give you some strategies on how to recognize it. We're going to give you some tips on how to, when you know that when you're in it, you're like, okay, wait, how to step back and stop and recognize, listen, I cannot do this, right? And so we're going to be talking about that on tomorrow. And so we're really, really excited. So I came on today just to give you a prelude of what we're going to be speaking about. Invite your friends. If you have any friends or family members that you know are really going through that process and that, having those feelings about anything, as I said, I definitely, I've experienced it, and particularly people that are very analytical individuals, they do it a lot. We do it a lot. It's just like, how do I do it? And then you find yourself to a point and you have to re-examine yourself and say, do I have faith? Like, why am I thinking like this? So we're going to be talking about that on tomorrow. So we're very, very excited. I hope that everybody is doing extremely well. So again, share this video, and also I place on my Facebook page that the capability of you doing a reminder. So remind yourself about Bridging the Nations tomorrow, and we're going to be coming on at 6:30 Central, 7:30 Eastern, because some of you have asked for that. And so that's what we're going to be doing. I see Ryan, you says, nobody have the time to be constricted. I need energy to be productive. Absolutely. Absolutely. And we know that brain matter affects your productivity. We know that it affects your productivity. And so we're here to help. Bridging the Nations is here to support and give you resources so that you can be the champion that we know that you already are. So join us on tomorrow, 6:30 Central, and let your friends know. Let your friends know, because there's no place that I've seen like Bridging the Nations, where we talk about everything that can affect your life, your mindset, your goals, your health, you being able to live your absolutely greatest and best life, and speaking about abundance and speaking about God and who God is and that He is already dwelling within you. And so we are taking practical everyday situations and we are helping to bridge the nations. The nation starts within you and then it goes externally. So we hope that you will join us on tomorrow. We look so forward to you joining us on tomorrow. And remember, be very conscious of the repetitiveness of thought that enters into your brain. You can take control and have that discipline over what comes into your heart, your spirit. And if it doesn't serve you any longer, as I always say, let it go. Proclaim your emancipation proclamation, beloved, and you will live an absolutely great and successful life. You determine what success is. So tomorrow, that's what we're going to be doing tomorrow. So we really look forward to you joining us. And as always, if you have a husband or a wife or your spouse, let them know that you love them. Let them know that they are important to you. And if you have your children's, your beautiful kiddos, let them know that they are important to your lifespan. If you have grandchildren, let them know the exact same thing. Correct? Let them know the exact same thing. And remember to smile. Remember to smile. So tomorrow, Sarari, we're going to be, I'll be hosting tomorrow. It's going to be at 6:30 Central Time and 7:30 Eastern Time. So that is what we're going to do. And I see, hey, Carrie, thank you for joining us. I always say us because it's always like this team concept. And you're right. If anything that I say, if it witnesses to you, you want to make sure that there's a nugget, there's some platinumness that is really there that's going to help and to support you. So we all have been there. Again, I love you. I hope that you continue to take care of yourself, take care of your children, take care of your family, and love on one another. Just love on one another. This is Antoinette Marie. I hope that you have a fantastic, fantastic day. I will see you on tomorrow. Be well. Take care. Bye.